Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Go.
عن أبي زيد بن أسامة بن زيد بن حارثة رضي الله عنهما قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول يؤتى بالرجل يوم القيامة ويلقى في النار فتندلق أقتاب بطنه فيدور بها كما يدور الحمار في الرحى فيجتمع إليه أهل النار فيقولون يا فلان ما لك ألم تك تأمر بالمعروف وتنهى عن المنكر فيقول بلى كنت آمر بالمعروف ولا آتيه وأنهى عن المنكر وآتيه متفق عليه.
حفظته؟
محفظته بسنوات في الحديث.
Yeah, everybody knows the hadith. All right, so Bismillah. Now we're on hadith number 55 now. Signs of a hypocrite. All right. And of course, this is like because hypocrisy, nifaq, is broken up into two different categories. Nifaq al-amali wa nifaq al-i'tiqadi. So nifaq al-amali is what you're going to see in this hadith. These are the actions. These are the actions that what stem from hypocrisy. Does this take a person out of Islam if he falls into these actions? No. And these actions don't take a person out of Islam. But the thing that takes the person out of Islam is the nifaq al-i'tiqadi, which means that what does this mean? Is that on the outside, he's what? He's Muslim, mu'min, praying, fasting, la ilaha illallah in front of the people. But inside, what? Hey, he's complete. He's just hiding kufr in his heart. He hates Islam. He hates the deen. He hates everything about it. But he only does this out of fear of the people. Out of fear of the people. All right, so this whole issue of hypocrisy, especially al-i'tiqadi, this became an issue when?
In Medina.
In Medina. Because in Mecca, there was no hypocrites in Mecca. Why?
Because everyone, you were open for it or not. You were like people who were enemies of Islam were just open about it.
No, it's because the Muslims were getting dealt with unjustly and mistreated and getting dealt with harshly. And the Muslims didn't have any power. So why would a person want to pretend to be Muslim at that time? So he can go through what they're going through. But when, after Hijrah, and then the people went, once the Muslims made Hijrah to Medina, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a victory in Badr, and that changed the whole status of the Muslims, and it started to give power and status to the Muslims. Now the hypocrites started to now this is when people started to enter into Islam out of fear, just for protection or whatever the case may be, but they had no true belief of Islam in their hearts. But I mean, when right now, when you look at Ahl Sunnah, we're the smallest minority. Everything's against us. So you see, not too many people are going to sit here and want to say, hey, you know what? I want to pretend to be Salafi. I mean, you probably do. I mean, obviously, you got people that work for government agencies that will do this, obviously. But I'm just saying, the people, just the common people, they're not going to sit here and just become Muslim to be a part of what we're trying to do, because we're the ones that everybody's insulting, talking about. We're the minority. We're the small numbers, right? So you see, we don't have this type of issue when we're weak. But the issue comes about when the Muslims start to get strength. Not just the Muslims in general, but specifically the people of the Sunnah. Because right now, you got Muslims that have a little, they got status in America. They got money. But those people are what? They got a lot of this hypocritical behavior that you read about. And a lot of them, they're messed up in their aqidah big time. And Allah knows best. This is what comes out on their tongues, and Allah knows best what they're hiding in their hearts. Love for the kuffar, love for the American way of life, and these are the guys right now with the status and the money in America. But, the people that are calling the Tawheed, people calling to the Sunnah, the people that want to sit in the Masjid and teach the people Hadith and read Hadith with the people, these people got no status. People are broke. People are having a hard time to pay their rent and their bills. This is the reality. So who now would want to pretend to be that and just to suffer and go through this, So Allah musta'an. So the hypocrisy, you see that with the i'tiqadi, it comes out a lot when the Muslims have that strength, specifically Ahl Sunnah, the people of the Sunnah. But here we're going to deal with the actions, inshallah. So signs of a hypocrite. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال آية المنافق ثلاث. And there's another narration where it's what? Arba'. But this one, I put this one in. We'll talk about the one that's Arba' also, inshallah. Ayatul Munafiqi Thalas. So the signs of a hypocrite are three. Either haddatha kadhab. If he speaks, what? If he speaks, he lies. You know, you can't even trust him. You don't know when the guy's telling the truth or when he's lying. وَإِذَا وَعَدَ what? أَخْلَفْ. If he promises, what? He breaks it. He doesn't fulfill his promise. He doesn't fulfill his promise. وَإِذَا أَتُمِنَ خَانْ. If he's given an amana, if he's given a trust, khan, he acts treacherously. All right, he doesn't fulfill his trust that he's entrusted with. So, you know, like for example, somebody says, hey, I'm going on vacation. I want you to come and take care of my house. I'm going to give you the keys. And he goes and he doesn't fulfill the trust. He doesn't, like, he says, like, look, you got to check on the house every so often and water these plants and do this. But he never checks on the house. The plants die. Somebody's, crackheads are breaking into his house and he comes back from vacation and he's got squatters living in his house or something, who knows? Because why? Because this man didn't fulfill his trust. So whatever you're entrusted with something that you fulfill, you carry out that trust. And this hadith is muttafaqun alayh. And he said, وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ وَأَنْ صَامَ وَصَلَّ وَزَعَمَ أَنَّهُ مُسْلِمٌ. And these are the traits of the munafiq, regardless, even if he's fasting and praying and claiming that he's a Muslim, and he has these traits, and he still has these traits of a hypocrite. And there's a rabi', which is the fourth trait that's not mentioned in this narration, which is what? وَإِذَا خَاصَمَ what? وَإِذَا خَاصَمَ فَجْرٍ. And what does that mean? Because people always get the translation of this hadith wrong. And that's the only reason why I mentioned it here. And I don't know why I did not put it. Don't even ask me why. I don't know why I put the 3 and not the 4, but for whatever reason I did it. I can't remember what the reason is, but I'm pretty sure there was some reason, but I don't remember. But either khasama fajr, what does that mean? Because a lot of people, they translate it when he argues, he gets rude and profane and insults. No, it is not that. Khasama al-khasuma is what? Al-khasuma goes back to al-qadi, al-hakim, that you have a khasuma with a person, that you have a legal problem between you and another person, maybe over land, maybe over something where one person transgressed against the rights of another person. But then when he goes to court, and then in this khusuma, what does he do? Fajr. He lies, he brings in people to bear false testimony and witness. So he lies and he acts in a fajr, in a very despicable, treacherous way when he's dealing with his in a khusuma. Instead of just, accepting, the truth and the evidence, no, he brings in lies and false testimony, qawla zur, with shahadat zur, and all this type of thing. And this is the person that has this trait of the munafiq. Because the munafiq, he doesn't want to go back to what? He doesn't want the Quran and the Sunnah. He wants what? He wants the judgment and ruling that's going to be for him. And he's going to try to go to the person that's going to give the ruling and judgment for him. And if the Quran and the Sunnah is going to give him the judgment, then he'll be pleased with it. He'll accept the Quran and the Sunnah because he knows what? The judgment's going to be in his favor. But if it's not in his favor, then what? Let's go over here. Let's go over there. We don't need to go here. We don't need the judgment here. And this is something, inshallah, that we're going to go through in more in depth, inshallah, in Kitab al-Tawheed. So, inshallah, this hadith, mashallah, should be very, very easy to memorize. Safe. وإلهنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك